say to you all, if you've been injured in an automobile, hurt on the job, or have been slandered by Adam Smith in the Tampa Times, I'm your effing man. I also want to tell you that usually when I come to these, I try to bring a gift with me. Usually they're brownies. Today I brought some pecan rolls for you all. So I hope the rest of your afternoon is as enjoyable as this speech. And since I have Adam Smith sitting in front of me, listen, I've been debating Brady Judd. And it's intimidating to debate somebody who wears a gun and a badge and has handcuffs in their back pocket. But I will tell you, especially with PolitiFact, I'm more intimidated with Adam Smith sitting here with the tape recorder than anything I've done in a long damn time. So I will be on my best behavior here. Sometimes I'm not on my best behavior, but today it's daytime. I'm on my worst behavior at nighttime. Four things. Why medical marijuana? Why does it work? Why me? Why constitutional amendment? Let me tell you first why medical marijuana. It's as simple as this. It works. It just works. I don't know why it works. I don't know why water works. I don't know why aloe works. It just works. And it works for people that are really, really sick. We laid this amendment out as a roadmap so everybody would understand exactly who we're talking about. It's people with ALS, cancer, glaucoma, epilepsy, HIV, multiple sclerosis, serious debilitating injuries. Some people in this state don't know what the word debilitating means. Luckily, our doctors do. Luckily, you do. For many people, this will be a remedy at the end of their life or when they're fighting for their life. Our people that I argue with this will want to tell you that this is a de facto legalization of marijuana. They say that because they don't have a real good argument against it. So they just make it up. How do you argue with somebody about they say this is the de facto legalization of marijuana when it's not? You'll hear from them that we don't want to be another California. And that's an argument that doesn't work either, because when we did our research, we found out that Florida had a lot of things they wanted and a lot of things they didn't. They don't want to be another Florida, another California. They don't want to have a wink and a nod and walk into a OBGYN like Greg Warman did over Channel 9 and come out with the prescription. All the research showed us is that Florida wants it, but they want it to be regulated. They want it to be the opposite of these things. And so we did it that way. We said, look, you got to go to a medical doctor. Not a psychologist, a medical doctor. California is kind of wide open. You got to go to that medical doctor. That medical doctor has got to treat you and then send the recommendation or prescription to Tallahassee, where they will go into a database. And then only then will you come back and get a card. And then with that card, you'll be able to go out and get something to help you. Right now, the way it works, and I will tell you this, I don't know what to call them. We used to talk about the silent majority, but there is a silent sick here in Florida that I have met. It would blow you away. It would blow you away. They'll be sitting right next to you. You have no idea they're dying. They desperately want that because they're using it every single day. And I'm talking about your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. Multiple sclerosis doesn't pick political parties. ALS didn't pick Kathy Jordan. bring it back to their loved ones. They risk their freedom to do it. They risk their careers. They risk their future. A young lawyer told me in Orlando, he said, John, if this happens, I don't have to go to Tampa. I said, what do you do at Tampa? He says, I go there to get it for my mother has multiple sclerosis. The silent sick that I have met across Florida is stunning. And it's everything to everybody. This is not a political action. This is an action of compassion. Look, Don Gates, the conservative president of the Senate, confessed that once upon a time, his best friend, 1985, was dying of cancer. Now, Don Gates knows a little bit about end of life. He knows what drugs work and what drugs don't. Because he runs a hospice, or he did, until he sold it and made a bunch of money, which is good for him. But you know what Don Gates confessed? That when his best friend, when his minister was dying, nothing at those hospices worked. And so you know what Don Gates did? If we'll let us back and check this out. He went out and had somebody get marijuana for his friend. And he gave it to his friend. And his minister, the preacher. And he did it because nothing else worked. And he did it because he loved that friend. This election is going to be about that. We may not like the politicians. Everybody running is not who you like the most, it's who you dislike the least. But this election, we're going to get to go out and do something for our next door neighbors. One day, we know, I will guarantee you this, maybe not in my lifetime, but we all know that one day this will be legal. Everywhere in America. There's no doubt about it. And if we know that, then why not now? It's not wrong that once upon a time to have had a different opinion about this. Some people I'll talk about marijuana, they're so mixed up about marijuana, they think it has the same effect as LSD and heroin. They think it's a drug. It's all thrown into the drug category. Sanjay Gupta, once upon a time, was opposed. Wrote a Time article about it. You know what scientists do and good doctors do? They remain open-minded. They research. They investigate. They go to Israel. They see what happens over in Israel. There's no testing here. We can't have testing here. It's a Schedule I drug. So these doctors, once it goes to FDA and once there's tests, there can't be test run. It's a Schedule I drug. Why is it a Schedule I drug? Once upon a time there was a movie called Reefer Madness. It stood for the proposition that a black man might seduce a white woman with a marijuana cigarette. Well, we can't have that. They used to call it cannabis, but they had to make it worse. So they said, well, how can we make it worse? We call it marijuana. That's what the Mexicans call it. And it became a Schedule I drug. And our drug laws in this country are based on that one man who saw Reefer Madness and freaked out about it. Our Schedule I drugs are based on hatred and racism and bigotry and just meanness. So Sanjay Gupta branched out. He left and went all over the world. If you do nothing else if you're on the fence, watch one of his specials, week 1 or week 2. You will cry, tears will be rolling down your face, and I promise you, I guarantee you, you'll vote yes on 2. If you watch it. Some people don't want to watch it. I hated to watch that Mitt Romney special on HBO. Because I didn't want to like it. I watched it, and I told my wife, I said, this son of a bitch is a bad guy. I mean, I said, whoever was running his campaign screwed it up, and we never knew him. Thank God. Why does it work? I don't know. I don't know why it works. I just know it does, and I know what doesn't. Oxycontin doesn't. Oxycontin is the alternative. Oxycontin kills 16,000 people every year. Other prescription drugs kills another 16,000. Advil and Tylenol that children can get their hands on kill another 12,000. sick. He couldn't eat. He was on a cocktail of drugs here and there, had a man, so that he go into a steel position in bed. Couldn't move. I said, Daddy, just try it. God damn it, I'm not going to do drugs. You know, we're at nothing from equals nothing stage. Nothing plus zero equals zero, aren't we? He did it. He tried it. I came in that night, he's sitting up at the table. Never forget it, Miller Lite in front of him. Eating a pop roast. I said, I walked in, I said, my God. He looked at me and said, John, this shit works. And he used it till the day he died. And he died with it. My brother Tim is the inspiration for this. He is my hero. When he was 18 years old, I got a call to the University of Florida. My brother's been paralyzed. Can't move from the neck down. Me and my brother Mike got in the car, went to St. Augustine Catholic Church, lit some candles, went home, cried the whole way there. First time I ever cried in front of Tim was that night. I cried hundreds of times the night after that. Just thinking of that. The drugs they had him on once upon a time, 3 had been recalled or had litigation about it. Celebrex, Vioxx, Darvocet. Things don't work. At one point in time, they had him on 7 Xanax a day. I took a habit of one of the Xanax. I went to Venice one time and I tried to get back on track. I broke off the Xanax. They couldn't wake me up. They couldn't wake me up. I mean, my wife was up on my back. You know, John, you're going to miss dinner. I missed dinner. I woke up the next morning. What the hell happened? She said, you missed dinner. Half a Xanax. He was a zombie. Tim's suffering is immeasurable. The dignity that he's lost as a result of being a C6, C7 quadriplegic is undescribable. The pain starts at the tip of his toe and races up to his head. It's like a freeze, almost a stroke. The spasms are so bad it throws him out of the chair. This year's been a bad year for Tim, and I have cried a little bit more this year than before because he's had a lot of health problems. And he's been in and out of the hospital, and he really wants this to happen. He takes a piece of chocolate in the morning, and he takes a piece of chocolate at night, and that's all he needs. He got hospitalized a couple of weeks ago, and he was rushed to the hospital, and he was there, and he was wrapped in bed, screaming in pain, and he doesn't scream, he's not a crier. And my brother Thad got to him, I called the cardiologist. I'm waking the cardiologist up at 3 in the morning, or 9 in the morning. And my brother Thad said, why did you take a piece of marijuana? He said, he snuck up on me while I was sleeping. He told him, I think I'm going to die tonight. And so it works, it just works. I don't need to have the FDA approve a drug for me. I've been suing these pharmaceutical manufacturers. They're crooks. They're crooks. We're on every drug imaginable. All of you all, why did we need Ritalin in kindergarten? Why didn't we need Adderall to study in high school? Adderall is synthetic cocaine. Everybody here is probably carrying a pocket full of pills you prescribe for yourself. You can't go to the bathroom, you can't have sex, you can't sleep. You can't be happy without these pills. That's who's fighting me. That's who's stopping me. If we pass this, they lose billions of dollars. Big Pharma's solution is wait till we figure it out. If we do that, 300,000 or 400,000 people are going to be waiting for a long time before it's forever, and millions after that. OxyContin is so powerful that it hooks even the most powerful. The king of personal responsibility, Rush Limbaugh. And I've met him once. I'm convinced he doesn't believe anything he says. I'm convinced he's an actor. I'm convinced he's as phony as home phony. I think a pretty nice guy. But guess what? He got hurt. He got oxygen. He got hooked. He couldn't get off. He started scripting for himself. He had yard men get it. He had everybody get it for him. And he got arrested. And what did he do when he got arrested? He did what all rich people do in Miami, South Florida. Called boy blind, got off. was suffering, we give it to him. Right now. We had it, that's all they do. We give to our dog right now. Because we love our dogs. People say, who do we love more, our dogs or our spouse? You want to know? I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to give you the test. Go home tonight, back out 2 cars, open both trunks, put your spouse in one trunk, lock it. Put your dog in the other trunk, lock it. Wait 1 hour. Open both trunks. Watch how your spouse greets you, watch how your dog greets you. We wouldn't let our dogs suffer for a minute. I have had some success on this earth. I believe that we have a duty to do right. I could never imagine when I was a boy in Kentucky and things were really rough and I was leaving, that I would be in a position to be able to put this kind of money into something, or the other charities out there. I believe that 95% of what's happened to me has just been blind running luck. I believe I went left, that could have been one thing, but I went right up the other. When I left Kentucky, I thought my world ended. It just opened up as I got to Florida and got to Winter Park High School. If Bill Gates was born today, he wouldn't be Bill Gates. If I was born in Africa, I wouldn't be John Morgan. When God gives you this, or luck gives you this, or whatever you think has given you this, you have a duty to give back. And so this is my time. I don't believe you can sit still and know something and do nothing. Last year we did a food bank for the Morgan Hunger Relief Center Orlando. This year's this, next year's will be a domestic violence center at the Park House. I don't think you can keep your money. I've been to a bunch of funerals. I've never seen a U-Haul in the back of one of those hearses. We have a duty to do this. At the end of the day, we had to do this constitutionally because it wouldn't happen in Tallahassee. Because these people up there, the reason their popularity is about 7% is because they're more worried about the next election than the next door neighbor. They're more worried about getting the money from the tobacco industry and Duke Energy and State Farm and Allstate. Anybody else? 30 seconds. I'll just close with one little thing. Give me 1 minute to close. No?
Only the president can grant your time. I cannot.
We are all looking for peace. This will be my peace. And I'll leave you with a prayer. The fruit of silence is prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. The fruit of love is service. And the fruit of service is peace. This is my service work this year. And all these patients have their peace. I'll have mine too. Till we meet. God bless you and your families. Please vote yes on two.
So, bringing your minds again about the questions, 45 seconds to frame it. No exceptions, only ask a single question and no speech. Wait for the microphone, state your name clearly. I have questions. Dave.
Dave Zach. Mr. Morgan, this actually is a question that my wife would ask you if she were here today. She passed away a year ago of pancreatic cancer. For those patients who have been, who have taken the chemical marijuana, which didn't seem to have any effect on her at all, what's the difference between the chemical marijuana and the actual marijuana itself?
Well, the pill Marinol, that the pharmaceutical companies had forever and ever, doesn't have the same levels of THC in it. It doesn't work as well as smoked or inhaled or buttered. It just doesn't work. But the one thing we know for a fact, even though we don't have the testing that we are able to make it work, but they can't. They know this works, but think of how selfish they are. If you all have to watch 60 Minutes at night about the pharmaceutical industry, it's shocking. They're saying, until we can figure out a way to harness this in a capsule, which they never will be able to do, wait for us. So we're not going to wait any longer.
Rebecca Falkenberry. I'm wondering, did you do the same speech to the editorial board of the Tampa Bay Times? I am absolutely astounded that they not only came out against two, but they came out against one. And I'm profoundly disappointed in them, but after listening to you, and I wonder if you said the same thing to the editorial board, what do you think their take was on why they opposed it?
Well, I blame Adam Smith for anything that goes wrong. Tampa Bay Times. Look, unfortunately, I didn't get to do the editorial. We sent a guy, a younger guy to do the editorial. If you want to see my editorial, I did it online with the Orlando Sentinel. And I wish I'd done it now because I thought that paper would endorse us. But look, politics, when you get these newspapers, I don't know who the publisher is, because I don't live over here. But these publishers usually tend to be to the right of Dick Cheney. And so, they sign paychecks. I mean, so, I don't want to use the word coercion or dictatorship or whatever, but I'm disappointed too. But guess what? Rick Scott got elected, didn't get one editorial, so there's hope for me.
Darrell Olson. The election guy comes to you and says, John, I've got good news and bad news. Good news is one of your priority items in the election is going to succeed and one to fail. So if you get to choose, is Charlie Crist going to be governor or is medical marijuana going to pass? Which would you choose and why?
Usually the famous line from our governor, I would like to plead the Fifth Amendment on that question at this time.
Jerry Evans. Ms. Murray, thank you for coming to the Tiger's Den today. Your opponents have several new ads out. One, I believe, you've already addressed as it relates to the prescription necessary for medical marijuana. What do you have to say about the drug-dealing caregivers that you're advertising?
Well, listen, I call the people who make those ads caregivers. When your arguments get so bad, you just have to, you get down to this. Now think about it. Here's what they're suggesting. They're suggesting that number one, you're dying or you're really bad off. And instead of having your caregiver be your wife or your husband or your sister, you decide to hire a drug dealer. Why not? Every hospice I've ever been to has had nothing but drug dealers sitting around the bedside. And then the drug dealer's going to come in and say, yeah, I want to get to you while you're sitting here dying. And I'm going to register with Tallahassee with my 5 or 6 felonies. And then they're going to make me a caregiver so that I can then go to the medical marijuana dispensary and buy a little package of marijuana that's going to cost me 5 times what it would cost me divided by the bail in Miami. When you think about it, why are they doing it? When you think of a drug dealer, what do you think about? When you shut your eyes, who do you see? That's what they want you to do. They want you to see that. Oh, time for a question. I'll tell you what, this is like the soup Nazi right here. My God, I'm scared shitless of that.
Gregory?
I'll meet you halfway.
I'm Gregory Wilson. I've been to a lot of Suncoast Tiger Bay Club meetings through the years, and this will be one from the record book. You kind of remind me of a former charismatic governor named Walton Childs. great story. If you can help from pleading the fifth one more time, I was wondering if there was any condition, if there was any circumstance, if there was anything that would anger you enough or inspire you enough that you would consider one day running for governor.
Well, somebody asked me that one time, they said, are you worried about running for something? Are you worried about skeletons in your closet? I said, shit, no, I'm worried about last Friday night biting me in the ass. I mean, I got live bodies in the basement. I mean, I want to stay married. You know, I wouldn't, if you appointed me, if you wanted to appoint me to be governor, first of all, I don't like to get up early. I like to sleep. I like to lay out on the beach. People say, why do you like to lay out on the beach? It's very simple. I like to feel the sunshine, and brown fat looks better than white fat. And I just, honest to God, have zero interest in serving on a board. Everybody who serves on a board in Orlando gets indicted. So I don't want to be indicted. I have a pretty good life, and you know, somebody asked me, you know, what would you do if you won the Powerball? Probably not. I probably would do the same thing I'm going to do tomorrow. So the scrutiny is just too much. I would never put myself through that. It's been scrutinized. I've been scrutinized enough on this.
I know you're back. Yep.
John, Ron Russell, mediator. Tim, is it possible, or how would you go about it this late date, showing the difference in somebody trying to get out of bed in the morning and go through the day, such as Tim, your brother, as opposed to, and I know they've done this with cancer, as opposed to the average day of life, taking drugs and pills?
How would I show that?
I'm sorry?
You want to know how I would show that?
How can this be done and published?
Well, I could,
Like for example,
we can. I gave you 3 seconds, Michael. I'm down to yes or no. In trials, what we do is we use what we call day in the life of videos. And we'll go out and spend the day with somebody. If you saw Tim get dressed, because now, by the way, Tim considers himself lucky. You know why? He's right. He's self-sufficient. He has a little girl, 5 years old, has a beautiful wife. But he has to get dressed, laying flat on his back. If you just watch Tim get dressed in the morning, and when he gets dressed, he doesn't get up looking bad. I mean, he's the best dressed guy in the office. Coat and tie, crisp. I mean, that guy's got more suits than Melvin Marcos. And he comes to work with shoes too, and his shoes never get scuffed. And he's always got those utilities, keeps those shoes so shiny. But he has been, by the way, he works with me, and he has been with me for over 20-something years. And he runs about 300 or 400 people using medical marijuana. And I would not be the firm I am today if I hadn't had my brother Tim there loving me and watching my business and inspiring his people. He is an inspiration. I wish he was here. It's love at first sight when you meet that guy.
Thank you for being here today. Hal Friedman. I lived in San Francisco through the 70s and 80s. I had lots of friends who had kids, and a lot of them smoked marijuana. What is the argument that these people on the street today are making vis-a-vis vote no for the kids? I don't.
Well, look, Al. Who do we love the most, other than dogs? Kids. I mean, we love the kids and the dogs. That resonates. One of their arguments is this. One of their 5 talking points. I was with Brady Judd last night. go to a doctor and without the parents' permission get marijuana. And you sit there going, wow, that's horrible. And I said, Grady, I've got 4 kids. Never once did they have a sore throat and get on a bicycle or a tricycle and ride down to the doctor's office off I-4 and pull in and say, hi, Dr. Albert, I'm Matt Morgan. I'd like to see you. And Dr. Albert say, hey, Matt, here, let me give you some OxyContin. Go on home. I'm like, how do you have an argument with morons like that? Not that he is. That's just one of their arguments. They say our kids are going to get their hands on drugs. Go look at what's in your medicine cabinet. Go look at the OxyContin and the Darvocet. They say they're going to get, you know what the argument was when the gun people were fighting, to keep their guns? You know what their argument was? Against it. Our kids will get their hands on the guns. You know what their argument was? No, they won't if you lock it up. So here's what I told Grady. And Grady always wants, every time you hear Grady talk, he talks about gummy bears. Their kids are going, they make them into gummy bears. I said, Grady, you got a gummy bear fetish. What's wrong with you? But I said, Grady, here's what you need to tell the kids. Lock the medical marijuana up, lock the gummy bears up with the guns, and everything will be fine.
Bob Fisher, John, I'd like your personal opinion on politicians, not just locally, but around the country, who change their party affiliation just so they can get a job.
Well, I'm personally a great admirer of Ronald Reagan. I am highly offended when people attack him now that he's dead.
Nathan Major, Alan and I here work for a pharmaceutical company. Not the greedy kind, but I think you have sued us a couple of times, so we appreciate that. Yeah. But anyways, my question is, you've been spending a lot of time at some of the college campuses talking to them. So, maybe how would you argue the side that says you're doing that one to get the vote out for Chris, and then number 2, that those are the individuals that would be the most open to supporting something like this?
Well, listen, I will take a vote however I can get it. I will say, like I've said before, you're going to see me give X-rated speeches. You'll see me give some PGs, some G's. You're going to see locker room speeches. You're going to see church speeches. I've got a different speech for every audience. But I know this. If young people come out and vote, they are the people who are most likely to vote yes on it. And so the reason I was at University of South Florida yesterday and UCF the day before, and we're down south, so I'm not here today. I got to go to California for something else. I'm not going to do that with marijuana. But if kids vote, we win. And listen, kids are hard to get to vote. I can't get my kids to pick up a landline if it's raining and their hands touch it. Like, can you pick up the phone? I know it's an inconvenience. Your hand is on it. And so I believe that. And listen, I have high hopes. I didn't know what a selfie was until this thing started. I have taken more selfies with young people than you can imagine. I mean, my big fat face is on so many selfies all around the state of Florida. And when I go out, these kids are high-fiving me, fist bumping me, and they're aware of this. I don't know what the polling's doing or who's getting them, but I know they're not going to come out and vote for governor. I know that, but I think they might do this. I hope. Oh, and by the way, as far as people always say, make these conspiracy theories, hey, I'm doing this for Charlie and Chris, this is my this is my plan to do this for Charlie and Chris, this is my secret way to get votes out. Look, I've spent about $5 million on this thing so far. apples and oranges. I'll bet you if I put a piece of notebook paper in front of everybody's table and all of you got together, you couldn't name 10 states where it's legal. And you know why? It ain't a problem.
Last
I'm
question.
trained like those electric fences with it all. I'm scared to walk. I'm scared to walk past. Last question.
Betty Morgenstein. So many
My
people,
long lost aunt.
sure. Many people are in prison because of something to do with drugs. And sometimes needlessly and long-term and crazy stuff. Do you think by bringing attention to this whole thing that it might help the whole perception of what happens with people with drugs and so forth?
I do. Look, I don't know what newspaper in Florida recently they said that the use of marijuana is the same by race. 10 to 12%. Yet, 6 times more African Americans arrested than the whites. Why is that? I have no idea. We like to lock people up in America. We have 18 times more people in prison than the next closest country, which is China. Politifact, check that. We're behind Singapore. We're ahead of Singapore. I'm scared to even go to Singapore because I can't. And so, people get locked up. I told a story yesterday. Think of the lives that have been destroyed because of an arrest for marijuana. Law school, med school, service, grad school,